Today I want to share with you 5 of the main reasons why it is important to register your trademark. I spent a lot of time on this channel talking about the dangers of not registering your trademark, so I thought this would make a lot more sense to actually talk about some of the benefits that come with registering your trademark. Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jim. If you're new here, I am a trademark lawyer and online entrepreneur myself, and I talk on this channel about trademarks, LLCs, contracts, all those type of things that you need to make sure your business is legally protected. And today what I want to talk to you about are the 5 main benefits to actually going about and registering your trademarks. Now, if you are an entrepreneur or maybe you work for a business of some sort, then chances are your goals are to make your business incredibly successful. In so doing, you really want to make sure that all your intellectual property is protected so that nobody can steal that from you. But if you haven't registered your trademarks yet, then that's going to be something that's a hard task to accomplish. And ultimately, as I mentioned at the beginning, there are a number of negative consequences that can come about from failing to register those trademarks, and not the least of which is you could be forced to rebrand your business if somebody decides to steal your trademark, or if you're accidentally infringing on somebody else's trademark, you could actually go out of business, or worst case scenario, you could be forced into bankruptcy, and nobody wants that. So today we're going to talk about 5 of the main benefits to registering your brand with the US Patent and Trademark Office. And so I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time, so let's just jump into it. Reason number 1 is that as soon as you file that trademark application, now this is one of those benefits that you do not have to wait actually to formally register your mark. This happens within days of actually filing your application. Your trademark application will be live on the USPTO database. And what does that mean? That means that the mark that you're claiming ownership of is going to be out there for anyone to find if anyone else is trying to register a name that is either the same as yours or that might be similar to yours, such that it would cause a likelihood of confusion in the marketplace. And this is really, really important because the US Patent and Trademark Office is what we call a first to file system. So that means that the first person to file an application for a certain name is the one that's going to have priority over that name with the US Patent and Trademark Office. Now, I've talked about this before, and there are exceptions. Technically, legally speaking, it is the first business to use that trademark in commerce has the rights. But you have a presumption by filing that trademark application first that you have the earliest rights to that trademark. And if somebody wants to come in and challenge that, then it's going to cost them a lot of time and money and effort, and they're going to have to hire lawyers, and it's going to be a whole big thing to try and overcome that presumption to show that they actually have the legal rights to that brand. So it's better to get that application filed first, and in so doing, you're basically first in line to get the registration for that mark. And when you do that, that application is going to be on that public database. So if anyone else is searching and they're thinking that they might want to name their business or register a trademark that's similar to the name that you've already filed an application for, they're going to see your application, and that's going to serve as a deterrent to keep them from trying to register that name. The other aspect to this that I'll say is very important is once your name actually registers, then you can use that little R with the circle around it. And when you do that, that is also going to be another form of deterrent to keep people from trying to use a name that's deceptively similar to yours. Reason number 2 that you really need to register your trademarks, the second main benefit of doing that, is that once you have a registered trademark, now keep in mind it takes 12 to 18 months at a minimum to get a trademark registered with the USPTO right now. But once you get that registration and you have that registration certificate in hand, now you can use that registration certificate to send a cease and desist letter if somebody is infringing on your brand, or to even potentially file a lawsuit in federal court if that's something that you would want to do. So you have a lot more enforcement mechanisms at your disposal if and when you do end up registering that trademark. I got a new mug. We were in the Algarve this past weekend, which is down in the southern part of Portugal. Wouldn't be a trip somewhere without me getting another mug. So we were actually in Cavalheiro, and this is my new mug. Cheers to little Portuguese coffee. This one's kind of cool. It's got some fishes, Portuguese flag, some instruments, a little streetcar. Kind of cool. I like it. I'll keep it. The third main benefit of having a registered trademark is this is going to be especially important for those of you out there who are selling physical products and maybe importing products from overseas. Once you have that registered trademark in hand, you can file that registration with Border Control, and they can actually stop any potentially infringing products from coming into the United States. So if you have built a brand and somebody else is trying to steal your brand and list products on Amazon, for example, or other online marketplaces, then US Customs and Border Control, if those goods come in, they will check the brand name that's listed on the packing slip for those goods. And if that brand is registered to your trademark, then they can actually stop and send those goods back or hold them. I'm not sure what the procedure is at that point, but they can basically stop those goods from coming to the United States by virtue of your registered trademark. So that is a really nice benefit to people that are selling physical products. The fourth main benefit of registering your trademarks is that it really starts to increase the value of your brand. And how does that happen? Well, there's two main ways that you can increase the value of your brand with a registered trademark. The first thing is that you can license your brand to other people to use. And this is a great way to not only increase the value of your brand, but bring additional revenue to your business. And this can happen once you have that registered trademark, is you can license your brand for other people to use and pay you licensing fees in the marketplace. So that's the first thing. The second thing you can do is if you are starting to build, maybe a store or a service or something like that that you intend to franchise, that you want to increase the reach of that brand to, other markets and other states and other things like that, then by having that registered trademark in hand, this is a really powerful way to increase the value of your franchise and then go ahead and sell franchises to other people in other places. And that's just one more asset that you can throw into your franchise package for other people to use. And it's really hard to franchise a business without having a registered trademark. So if that's something you're interested in doing, if you're interested in building a business and actually franchising it to other franchisees to use your business model, then having that intellectual property in place is absolutely vital and necessary. And the fifth main reason why you really should consider registering your trademarks is because if you were like me and most people that go into business, you go into business because your intent is to sell that business at some point in the future. And by having that registered trademark in hand, it's going to significantly increase the value of your business if and when you do decide to sell. And even more than increasing the value of your business, if you decide to sell someday and the buyer is looking at your business and saying, okay, well, do we have ownership rights to all these brands? One of the things that the lawyer is going to do for that buyer is do a search to determine whether or not you've registered those trademarks. And if you have not registered the trademarks to your brand, it could delay, it could hinder, it could even decrease the value of your business in the eyes of the purchaser, such that they're not going to pay you as much money as they would have paid you if you did have those trademarks registered. And this can be substantial. So if it's going to cost you a couple $1,000s to register your trademarks, we're looking at potentially, tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in the value of your brand someday down the road, which is why I tell people that investing in a trademark is one of the cheapest investments you can make in your business, because it's going to pay back, many multiples in dividends later on down the road if and when you decide to sell. If you've got questions about some of the bad things that can happen to you if you do not register your trademarks, here's a video I've done right here. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Take care.